So assuming now we have these charts, all these charts is under one data set, which is data set 1. Okay, and you would like to filter these slides, for example, by specific site or band or city or whatever. So for example, this is the data set we have. This is the throughput, RSLB distribution, moving average, and so on. So in this particular case, for example, I would like to for example, filter by a city, a specific city. So I will drag and drop this one at anywhere here. So now it's coming like this as a map because it's having a lot along, but I need to change it to slicer actually. So I will change this one to slicer. See, now it's coming as city 1, city 2, city 3, city 5, and so on. So there is another way around. It's like this, but let me, usually what I do, I will delete this one. Then I will directly go to the map here as is shown here, and I will click this slider here. So it will be created here. And under this slider, there is a field. So for example, I will drag and drag this one into the field. Now you have this one. So if you filter any one of them now, it will change the value inside your, as you can see, all the charts within this will be changed, as you can see here. So now the main idea now, this slicer, you can have the different format of the slicers. And again, this can be done from the same, as I mentioned before, whenever you need to change any format, you need to go to the visualization pane. Then you have the second one, which is called format your visual. So now you'll find this slicer settings, slicer header, and values. That's just like, for example, slicer settings. This if you want to change the style. So now it's giving as a vertical list. So now you can, for example, make it as a drop down. So now it's coming as drop down. I can reduce the size now. So this drop down will be here as city 1, city 10, and 11, and so on. And there is one like small trick here that whenever you need to make a search, actually you cannot find the search button. So what you need to do, you need to go and click up here. So it will show you search button. Once you click it, it will appear from now onwards inside here. So now you have it. So you can, for example, make 15, for example. So now we have this 15 city. So now it's filtering your 15 city. And now it's because you have the filter, remove the filter. You can even have multiple selection as mentioned here. And sometimes you need it to have only to enforce whoever using the template to use it, for example, a single selection. So again, go to the format visual and slicer settings. And this is selection thing. You will find this is a single selection. So in this case, you cannot change, you can just change one, as you can see here. This is in case if you're building a template and you don't want them to have a multiple selection. So this is the first use case of the sliders. This slider is actually now, as you can see, is controlling whatever within the same page. But what if you want to make the sliders control 2 or 3 pages only, or 4 pages or 5 pages based on whatever you have? So for example, if you take this one, copy, just Control C, for example, and go to, for example, to this moving average page. Then I will add it here now, like this. Once added here, see, it's coming in the left here. It will give you this question. One or more of the copied visuals can stay in sync with visual it was copied from. Do you want to keep them in sync? So in case if you want to make this slicer control a specific pages, even all pages or 1 or 2 pages or whatever, just keep copying this one and just make it in sync. So once I make it in sync, see the values here should it change now. This one should be changing now. Once I make it city 10 now, see the average is changing. When I go back to my filter slides, you find that this one changed over the other page as well. It will be city 10. So that's why, because I make a synchronization between both of them. So this is the first method of slicers or filters in general. So you can create slicers, different slicers. Even you can add more slicers here. It's not only one, it can be many, even date. If you drag and drop a date, or let's make it as we just mentioned, I will make a slicer like this. Then I will drag drop the dates, for example, in this particular field. You can see now it's giving me this function, and again you can change the format whenever you need. So now if I make like this, it will change the average, because this is like controlling also my thing. So you can add multiple slicers inside here. I will just take another one as a last example for this. Now it's coming here now, for example. I can take it up like this. Then I drag and drop, for example, the technology. Let's take the technology. I will drag and drop the technology here. So once I drag, I have 4G and 5G. If I selected 5G, this will be applied to my filter as well. So you can see now my data start being changing, and you can clear this one from here if you would like to have both of them. So this is actually the first way of sliders. Now there is another method, as I mentioned here, there's filters and sliders. Okay, there is another method called filters. As you can see, this pane, we didn't discuss it yet. So if you open this one above here, so you will find that if I click, for example, one chart here, you will find that you have multiple options. The first one called filter on this visual, and filter on this page, or filter on all pages. What it means by this means that if you would like to make a specific filter at a particular visualization, so if you click this visualize, it will come here. For example, you can go to down, this is whatever you are adding in this slide will come in here in this page. So I have this technology, I have the operator name, I have the downlink speed, that's why I have FDD TDD. So that's why all of them are coming. So for example, if I keep this filter now, I will just give the blank value. So that's why it's coming in there. So now if I just make FDD only, see, it will give you only FDD, and this is only applied for this particular visual, not for the complete page, because I have done the filter under filter on visual. So now I have applied here, and this is same applied for any metric under this one. So now assume now you want to do something filter within this page only and not using the slicer. You want just using, for example, this kind of filter thing, and this filter override the slicer, by the way. So for example, I will take the technology again and add it under the pane of filter on this page. So once I have done this one, you have a different options. It can be advanced filtering, which you may, for example, make contains or whatever based on formula, or for example, the basic one. Basic one, actually, you just selected manual, as you can see here. So for example, here I will take only 4G. See this, all the inputs here will be changing in this particular phase, even my slicers, as you can see, because it's overwriting the slicer. And instead of 4G and 5G, it's showing only 4G now. If I return this one to 5G now, it will come as 5G and 4G. So this is just an important note to note as well. So now if I moved again, it will be like this. So now I'll take this one out or keep it for now. Now you would like to make a filter on all the pages which you're having under this particular data set. So you just drag and drop here. So now, for example, let's make it with 4G, for example. So now if you want back, for example, for this moving average, you'll find that this values is changing, but because we don't have anything to confirm it, so let's try to add the technology here and see what we'll see as a slicer, for example. See, it's only showing 4G, and if you change it to slicer format, it will be only showing 4G because here my filter is showing, this is a filter will be seeing all the time removing. So if you change it again to 5G, it will be coming as a 5G and so on. And if you went back to the previous filter, it will be like, as we have mentioned here, it will be 4G and 5G. So this, again, the filter is overwriting the slicers. Just one last point I would like to highlight about this part, about the filters and the interaction with others. If you click this one, is for example, this particular chart, it will filter out for this particular FDD 5G technology to give you the results. You can see things here. First of all, the average is changing here. I'm just giving you, and here it's just highlighting. It's just highlighting this particular technology in this particular days, which is supposed to be these days only, and the same has been done here. And also, if you did TDD, it will also do the filtering like this. If you even selected this two, it will be selecting this two like this, highlighting whatever values we have. So whatever you do on this chart, you are doing. But what if you want to change, first of all, not to be highlighting like this, you just need to show the values itself without highlighting the background, which is not used actually. So in this case, you need to do one thing. And also, there is another point. If you would like not to, if you touch this one, you would like this one not to change any of those charts. So there is a method. So what you need to do, you need to click this format, the chart. If you click outside here first, anything here, it will back to the whatever you have. So now you can click in this chart and in each of those charts and go to the format, and you have this edit interactions. So edit interaction, this is to control my interaction. So once I edit this one, I'm clicking here, you can see it starts showing this kind of things here. So for example, here this is saying what if I click here, none means if I click like this and I now click here, it will not make any filter for this one. See, it's just filtering the other stuff. If I make it, for example, like this, highlight. So highlight means it will just keep highlighting as we mentioned before, like highlighting the values which has been filtered here. But now I just want to filter out, not highlight. So I need to click the third one, which is filter. So if I click here, now it will just filter the values without highlighting, not the same like this one. And this can be applied if I click here as well. So it will be removing the filter. And if you do need to this one, you need to repeat it for each and every single chart. So for example, if I click on this chart, now it will be showing that what you need to, as interaction with all the other inputs which we have it here within this particular base. And this was the second part about the last part about the filter and slices and new interaction.